Hey, I can do video blogs.
Good day, and welcome to another episode of Jimmy Jaunt. So today I was early, so I stopped off and took a picture of the Acme astronaut. This is the one that I think kind of looks like something from the 1980s MTV spots. But stopped off, got a picture of it. I was still early, so it was just shortly after 8, so I went ahead and stopped off at the local dealer. When they replaced my wiring harness on my Tenere, they only put 3 bolts of the 4 back into the headlight assembly. So I had emailed the service manager here, and he went ahead and emailed me back saying he had one stop by and get. So I did. So I still had time. I got up early this morning. So I decided to stop off at the local Wawa, reward myself with a chocolate chip muffin. It is the weekend after all, so I might as well get breakfast here to take back to the meeting spot at the Kangaroo to have my coffee and the chocolate chip muffin. So here I finally arrived at the Kangaroo. Joe was ready to ride, so I went ahead and pulled up and talked to Joe for a bit, had my coffee, and had my chocolate chip muffin. So after everybody had gathered, we decided to take off. Looks like we had 10 or 11 people, so that was a pretty good ride. Decent sized group, but we headed up to Lena's Seafood out in Ocala National Forest. We had some rides where we went through the forest, and it was very scenic, nice, and the seafood was very good. So we decided to take a tour of a local 7-Eleven. No, I'm kidding. We actually, this was going to be our first stop to pick up some other riders. It looked like there was another couple here riding. So we went ahead and pulled in and met with them, had more coffee, more talk, and then everybody continued on our ride with one more bike. So Tom had found some nice routes that gave us some twisty corners, so I had some fun, which I always enjoy the twisties. So I had a couple opportunities to leave a little bit of a gap and power through the corners. And then we ended up going alongside the swamp area, which very nice coverage of trees, and still have some windy roads going between the wetlands. Now at this point Robert was following me, you could see in the rear camera on his RT, and we were just moseying along. We weren't in any rush, but Robert wanted to get the bike up to speed and maybe burn out some carbon. He went ahead and passed us and continued on into the next intersection. And then as we got out of the forest and a little bit more to the west, we found some more covered road. So, and they also had some twisties, so I got to have some more fun on the windy roads of Florida. And after a bit, we found ourselves pulling into Lena's restaurant. Now this was a 1958, I believe. They were in Manchester? I don't know, I'm going to get it wrong. Yeah, look it up on the website. In my blog, I've got it on the site. They had moved here back in the early 70s and opened up this restaurant. And I do have to say the New England clam chowder was very good. So we got done eating, and I was following Gary, and when Gary gives you a signal like that, you go ahead and you do what he says. He's a good guy, but you need to listen to what he has to say. We found some more curves, so that was enjoyable. Nice sweepers, nothing too sharp, so we all kind of kept up speed. Didn't really have to slow down too much on those corners, and it was a nice ride. At this point, you notice Judy on the back of the trike. I was hoping it wasn't Gary lifting his hands off the bars, but it turned out his wife was a little excited about going down that hill. Yeah, in Florida, those are the greatest hills we have. Now, I'm not sure what happened here, but after a little while I noticed Gary had backed way off on his motorcycle. I think it might have stalled on him or something, but I didn't catch it right away. I let the group go ahead, and I pulled off here and waited for Gary to catch up, hoping that his bike would come over that ridge. If it didn't, I'd be turning around and going back and seeing if he was all right. So I pulled off onto the grass, and just as soon as I got up there, I saw his headlights, so I got back onto the road. Now, unfortunately, the group hadn't noticed, so they continued on, and I missed this turn here. I should have gone right, but I went straight, and as soon as I did, I saw the no outlet sign and realized, wait a minute, I missed a turn. So I had to slow down and get the whole group to turn around. So we turned around, and Gary ended up getting in front. So he led back to that turn, and then we ended up catching up with the group. So then we did another stop. This one was going to be for just a quick coffee, maybe restroom break if we needed after lunch. And as we were parked here, somebody, I think Tom, noticed a dime on the ground, so we started walking around and looking, and I think I collected like 42 cents or something. Dave found some pennies and some dimes, and Joe had found something like 40 cents also with the nickels and a quarter, and it was just kind of an interesting little treasure hunt. So we continued on from that stop, and somehow I ended up behind Gary again, and sure enough, he wanted me in front. Wait for the signal, and there it is. So he commands, I do. And of course, you know that by now, if you've been watching any of these videos, all roads lead to Yalaha. It's our favorite little German bakery in Howey in the Hills. Actually, it's in Yalaha, Florida. I think the bikes are going to be programmed to just automatically turn on the signal and start decelerating. I actually had a strawberry rhubarb strudel fresh out of the oven. We had our coffee and talk and enjoyed the rest of the day. And then on the way back, today was going to be a day I was going to be told what to do. So Kirsten wanted me to go up front. Dave thought she meant him, so she blocked him. And basically he realized, okay, I guess she wants Jimmy up front. So I passed Dave. She kept waving me ahead, so I went ahead and caught up to Tom. I don't know what that was about, but a lot of people today were telling me what to do. I'm beginning to wonder, maybe my headlight was too bright or something. So, and here's another one of my corners that I got to slow down, get some gap, and then do some catch-up. And then on these turns, Tom was being a little aggressive. He was running pretty fast on these corners, so I was having a hard time actually keeping up with him. That Goldwing can really handle. I don't know how much Jay liked it, but I'm sure she had fun. And then on these turns, we ended up coming back through Mount Plymouth, one of my favorite corners. And we couldn't go really fast because we had a couple cars in front of us that were pacing us, keeping us slow. Silver car that was up front turned off, so I gave a little bit more gap here and did a catch-up. So we all pulled into the local gas station in Sanford before we headed home, and everyone got a chance to maybe have a little coffee, use the restroom, and say our goodbyes. So on the way home, I ended up taking the route that goes along the north shore of Lake Monroe in Sanford. This is the Enterprise side. Sanford is on the south side of Lake Monroe. But it's a nice little road, some windies, not too bad, about 25-mile-an-hour corners. So it's nice and shaded, and it's just a back road that I can take to get to my house. So thank you for watching, and hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give me a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe so you can catch the other videos that I produce. Alright, thank you and have a great day.